Go back. No, I don't want it.
She was not active recently. Not very well, not bad, not so much, but on the and so occasionally I think they will come by now, or have more company will go by now.
Yeah, that's di papere scopo, devo guardare. Yeah, try to send me until I just see the you never suck up downstairs.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the celebration of life ceremony Belgro's Funeral Home. Please note that our washrooms are located at the right end of the chapel. Also, please take this opportunity to switch off or place your cell phones on silent. In the event of an emergency, an alarm will sound and an official of Belgro's Funeral Home will direct you to the next exit towards the master point. The exits are clearly marked, one at the front of the pyramid leading to a staircase, and two at the back on either side of the pyramid. Our master point is located to the south of this building at the end of the car park on Main Street. No emergency drills are planned for today. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please remain calm. Exit the building using the nearest exit doors and head towards the master point. At the master point, please check to see that everyone in your party is present and immediately inform the Belgro's official if anyone is missing. Please note that all Belgro's officials are easily identified by the company's ID badge. If for any reason you find yourself in need of any assistance, please do not hesitate to call us. Thank you for your attention.
This morning our footsteps have been led here and led us here to join and take part and to remember this fantastic human being. And we'd like to commence the ceremony with a few words of prayer reflection. I know for many of us, those who are confidants or those who have known her, many of the network of the temple, the Mandir, Top Street Krishna Mandir, many of whom are here, and of course they would have their utterances and their outpourings of bhajan and reflection of Auntie. She was indeed a remarkable human being, always well attired, a very winsome smile, a very beautiful countenance. Almost always we should think that we have inherited from our parents much more than they got themselves. You know, in other words, our foreparents or progenitors, many of them, had very humble beginnings, but yet they persevered, and because of their tenacity of purpose, their commitment and dedication, they were able to provide for their inheritors, for their children, much more than they would have gotten. And very often you wonder, it applies even in my case, if people actually stop and think, and reflect on the sacrifices made by our parents. It is not only that they provided us, but they gave to us so much, the opportunity to learn, and in mother's case, her breast milk, her prayers, the gentle tap of her hands, and the sweet lullabies and the dreams that she would have had, wanting and wishing and hoping that her children will be successful champions and great people. So today we have not only lost a mother, we have lost a great human being. And to my mind, sometimes when you attend a funeral or you just interact with people and you hear everyone saying positive things about someone, I think that in itself is enough. Somewhere they said the voice of man is the voice of God. So in society, when a community would echo the same sentiments, then that means that will have indicated that this was a great human being. So today we are going to begin the ceremony. We're going to begin the ceremony, and we have an order of the ceremony. We have a prayer, opening prayer of bhajan. More than likely, we might the arati for a little later on, but we'll have the eulogy, the bhajans by the Krishna Mandir members of the group, a few verses of the Bhagavad Gita, and then we have General Being Arti, and those persons who would like to share a few sentiments. So we like everyone, those who can, please do, but those who do not, you don't want to, is fine, because sometimes young age people will not want to stand. So we invite everyone, if you can, to stand as well as to join in prayer. If there are other members, immediate siblings, please stand next to him. Grandchildren as well, please stand if you wish. Take a flower. Take a flower. Alright, let us pray. Omniscient and divine Lord, as we reflect on your divine presence, we know that you are the Atman, the unchanging principle that exists within all of us, regardless of creed or class, race or religion. It is a common factor. There is no dichotomy, there is no separation. It's a unified field where all of us are infused with the divine presence of the Lord. And today as we join and we send that positive energy, that's why we're here, to create that aura of a platform, a springboard that becomes important for the journey of the Atman, the soul. We all send that towards the family, towards Ma, and we all pray, giving out our positive thoughts. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumanam Arana Bhava Bhayadarunam Navakanjalochana Kanja Mukhakar Kanja Pada Kanjarunam Kantarpa Aganita Amrita Chavinam Nila Nirad Sundaram Padapita Manautarita Ruchi Suchi Naumi Janaka Sutavaram Hajudina Bandhu Dinesha Dana Daitya Vanshani Kandanam Raghunanda Ananda Kanda Koshal Chandra Dasharatha Nandanam Iti Vadati Tulasidas Shankar Shesha Muni Manaranjaram Mama Hridaya Kanjani Vas Guru Kamadi Kaladavanjaram Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. Om Anadinidano Dev Shankar Akshay Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Kadoha Om Tayamakam Yadamahe Sudamhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukavivandana Vichur Mokshirma Amritatam Iti Anteshti Samskar Hindranam Bhutra Preta Mokstham Prapti Mahankarishye Adima Pitra Bhagavan Iti. Place all the flower in the coffin. All be seated. Thank you very much. Sisters and brothers, it is always a difficult time. It's when I say that, seasoned people who get accustomed, like Mike is doing it for so many years, even when it gets home, you become very much disturbed. It's like a mental hurricane. So the utterances, the things that people will want to say, because it is linked with so much emotion and feelings and so forth, it is always better to do it at the beginning. So, at the end we can perform the ceremony, having said what they have to say, we will move on with the rituals. So we'll have now the eulogy, which will be, there are a few things that will be said. First we have the son Dani here, and there will be others he will indicate, and we'll have the eulogy done, and also we'll have few reflections by one or two of the people quite aware of those persons. So I call upon Dani, who will give us the eulogy, and others who are joining us here. While it's getting said, it is also common courtesy. I don't like to mention it, but sometimes it happens that you see elderly people standing for a seat, and you're very comfortable on your phone. It's not really good manners. So if you happen to notice elders amongst us, it's a very kind gesture to give someone a seat and stand, especially since I see so many young people here today, So just remember that, because it looks like everybody looks very young. If you see elders amongst us, this is something that we see in our society, which is a very sad thing, In fact, I met Tika on the step here, and I offered her. I said, let me hold your hand, and she said, look, you can't lift me, but I'm fine. I'm strong. I can on myself. So it's a good thing. Even when you see on the streets someone trying to get into a maxi, those little things that we see every day, it's actually, you don't need to be in a church or a religious place, as some people think, to be kind, to be good, to be human. And it is little things like that I notice sometimes make you stand in awe. That you see someone, but you're busy, you're so comfortable, that you forget really the common courtesies that we should extend to our brothers and sisters, more so our parents. So let us all join with Dani and others.
Right, so you have to remember to take some deep this takes longer than anticipated. Bear with me. in partly to finish over with what I was going to start off with. Well, the normal thing to start off with, Mom was born on September 22nd, 1935. The obituary said Craignish Village, but it was corrected for me this morning. It's not Craignish Village, it's Sample Road, New Grand. She was, well, I've worked it out. She's either the fifth or sixth sibling of what was to become 13 of them. So clearly there wasn't any television in those days. Apparently she was a favorite, so I was told of her dad and spoiled as a result, and was an intelligent child. And I say child because at the tender age of 16, she got married to my dad. But who, by the way, was 29, so I mean, those things would happen today. She, at that tender age, now had the challenge of dealing with the juggernauts, and some of you all know that could be a challenge. And she had the first child, my brother, Julep, when she was 17. So imagine what is happening there. 16 got married, 17 having her first child. A year later, had my sister Rebecca. A year later after that, I was born. So within the space of 3 years, 17, 18, 19 years old, she had all of us. And had to deal with the juggernauts. Clearly, as I said, there was no television in those days, but I was told that as the youngest, I was a spoiled one. And let me mention, this is not truly a eulogy or such, but really a celebration of her life and some of our experiences with her. I was told that as the youngest, I was a spoiled one. And that is until my sister Charmaine was born 5 years ago. She became the spoiled one. 5 years after. She looks young, but not that young. She became the spoiled one. And rumor has it that when Charmaine was born, I would climb in my mother's lap and ask, Mommy still loves me? So I was told that. I wouldn't acknowledge that, but look what I'm doing now. My mother loved all her children and cared for her family. She would always say, I love all my children. That is until grandchildren came. And the story changed. I love all my grandchildren. I will do anything for my grandchildren. She was also caring of her friends and friends of her children, because our friends became extended families for my mom. Many of the comments received was that she was a lovely, lively, full of life and laughter. She made sure we were all cared for, and in a quiet way had ambitions for all of us. She would encourage us in our activities and would ensure that we had a good social life. And together with my dad, made sure that we had parties at home, and we actively engaged with all our friends. A lot of the engagement took place at home on Sutton Street. She was an accomplished seamstress. Charmaine will have to say more on this. If she did not have hands full with taking care of my dad and us kids, more of my dad and us kids, she probably would have made a career out of being a seamstress. I remember a baby, and that was the person's name, Baby. A neighbor across the road from where we grew up on Sutton Street was getting married, and she asked Mom to sew a wedding dress. And Mom did an excellent job. Mind you, I was probably around 6 or 7 years old, and I remembered all of this. She did an excellent job, not having sewn a wedding dress before, and really not having us nowadays. People have patterns that they follow and whatever. So my mom was excellent at following. Just looking at a picture and being able to reproduce that in a fashion that was unheard of. And she charged the princely sum of $13 for the now remember, this is in the early 60s. So $13 now translates to about $5,000 nowadays. Like that, she firmly believed in all of us getting a proper education, and most likely overseas. Hence, all of us received further education at various locales. And of course, she was always proud of our accomplishments. It is probably because she never wanted to disappoint. It's probably because we never wanted to disappoint our mom and dad that we all strived to do our best. Even though she could not attend our graduation, a few of us never even attended our graduation. She was overjoyed to attend at least one of her grandchildren's graduation. That was Ryan, my younger son, graduation at the University of Waterloo. And of course, in many of you all know my mom, in her own particular way, there were bleachers involved to accommodate everybody. And we had to climb up the stairs and get to a seat. And when it was finished, it was easier for her to just go a few stairs further up to get to the doors there rather than going back down. She insisted she going back down. It was fast to go there. Well, she had knee problems. It's easier and fast to go there. She would, but she was going back down. My mom was stubborn when she was ready. She traveled a lot with Dad, US, Canada, UK, Germany, France, and in the later years spent summers with Radix and Charmaine in Canada. I remember her visiting me at the University of Waterloo when I was doing my bachelor's. She was in Canada, so she wanted to come and see the university, both her and Dad. I carried her to see my girlfriend. And she must have approved. Because when I was back home working, Jessie had gone back up to Canada to live. My grandfather wanted to introduce me to a nice Indian girl. And my mother immediately indicated that Danny already had a girlfriend. So I always teased Jessie that I could have had a house, land, car, if my mother didn't serve my grandfather. And of course Jessie counters with that I would never have had two lovely children like Justin and Ryan. She was mainly accepting of everyone, but never started a conversation with her on politics. Well, if you do that, that's a no-no. Because she had strong political views and you could never budge her on those views. She taught us to cook, and when I told Charmaine I was mentioning this in the eulogy, Charmaine sort of clarified for me that she taught Julep and Danny to cook, and then the girls. My memory is that the first time she taught me how to cook, I was preparing for a scout camp, actually a scout competition, scout competition one weekend. So during the week I wanted to learn how to cook. So she taught me how to cook chow mein and fried rice. And if one of my girlfriends, friends, Peter Thomas, was here, I would tell him, yes, I was into Chinese from young. So there was I during the week learned to cook chow mein and fried rice. And on the weekend of the competition, I mean, my food was it. Imagine at a scout camp, they could cook chow mein and fried rice, but get with chicken and so on. And of course, we got the highest mark for cooking, all due to my mom. Did I mention that she was an excellent cook? Charmaine will talk some more about this, what she missed out on. She would not fall asleep if one of us went out to a party, and that applied to all of her children. And only when we returned home will she get peace and be willing to happily go and rest. With respect to me, it probably meant some sleepless nights and days, as there were occasions when I would head out for a lime with my friends and return home a couple of days later. It probably was a relief when I went abroad to study, as they say, out of sight, out of mind. We all know, I think our friends and family knows that she had a stubborn streak. She started having knee problems many years ago, but persistently refused any knee replacement surgery. And she said no surgery for her. So when I recently started having knee problems, I never mentioned it to her, because then she would have the last laugh. There are many stories to tell about the long acceptance for all. Again, I will let Charmaine tell you the story about Zenobia. I find this is such a wonderful story about our relationship with Zenobia. Charmaine will tell you all more of it. And one of the messages I got, and this is from Diane Celestin, who's a friend of ours, initially Julep's friend, my friend, because Diane went to university with us. She sent a message, because as I said, our friends became her friends, and we all became extended family. Diane said that my mom was hospitable and caring. She immediately went to the house when she learned that Diane's mommy had passed away, and brought food for them, as was the tradition among Indian people. She was a wife at a young age, a mother at a young age, a homemaker, a housewife, a seamstress, a charity worker, as you will see one of the pictures showcase. Appreciate the work that she did with the Cheshire Foundation. A friend to all. Of course, she will be missed. And what I was going to start off and say that when I saw my mom in hospital right after she passed away, well, I stroked her head and dropped her hair from the face and wondered what the face was telling me. It's only later that I realized that it said that I'm at peace from all my anguish. Take a deep breath. My mom could not reconcile herself to the fact that she had cancer, which was inoperable. And although she got a reasonable report from the doctor after 6 months that it had not spread and it had not grown, mentally she was having difficulties. When I saw her the afternoon before she passed away, what I saw was mental anguish in her face. And I think it's a combination of the physical and mental anguish that finally took its toll on her heart. But we're here to celebrate. She lived a wonderful life. We all benefited tremendously from being part of her life. And I hope that in all that she appreciates that she gave as much to us as we gave back to her. And it's because of her love and caring for us, and the fact that she did so much for us, not only her immediate family, but the extended family, that we will miss her dearly. Another paragraph I added afterwards is that my mom and dad loved each other in their own way, and the family will know. When you see the two of them together, it's like two people. They will quarrel and so on, but they could not live without each other. And it showed. My mom went a few years ago, had to go back up to Canada for a couple of weeks, so she left my dad for a couple of weeks. During that 2 weeks, it's amazing how my dad changed and how much weight he lost, and he got a little water, so it was missed tremendously just for 2 weeks. As some of my friends and family well know, the affectionate name for my dad was Boss. So folks, it has been a wonderful life with her. We will miss her dearly. These things happen, and I wish her all the best. One day we will be joined with her. Charmaine will say a few words, and then Jesse will say a few words from Justin, who unfortunately couldn't make it to the funeral, and then I will say a few words. Thank you very much.
Left my shoes at home, forgot it all this morning. Sorry, Mom. Mom always made sure you're well put together and dressed, and she's not here to make sure, Charmaine, you remember this? No. Facebook, Twitter. The world and everyone has social media. for our family was Mom. My mom kept us in touch with everyone. She kept in touch with everyone. She made sure that although I was geographically far away from friends, family, extended family, she made sure that I and my family knew everything and what was happening and kept me in touch with all of you who are connected here, as well as many of our other friends and family who are not here today. She was able, I remember, I'm going to try and stick to this first. I remember on Sunday mornings that we would get up sometimes and there'll be the smell of food, like lunch going on. And it would be a Sunday morning, Mom would be cooking away. And us as children being carefree, had to just jump in our clothes, jump in the car with her and Daddy, and off we went to a beach, hot meal in the back of the car. And hot meal in the back of the car. And then we get to the beach and we meet with more of the family and sometimes some friends. And there's someone walking along and we go down. And only years later do I realize how that was the thing that my mother was able to pass on. That one of the most important things is being prepared, always extending yourselves out to others, always being there for the family, always making sure you connected, you knew what was going on. And if we weren't going to have fun at the beach and connect with everyone on a Sunday afternoon, she and boss would be saying, okay, we're going to Faizabad, we're going to Paracord, we're going to Canal, we're going to Dede, all the places that family were. And we have memories of all of that. And I have thought to myself that maybe as a parent too, my mother did such a good job of that, maybe I didn't do such a good job of making sure they did. But it was one of the things that are my earliest memories of Mom. But Mom was not only the channel to keep us in touch with others. She was a caring, loving mother to children and a devoted wife. Growing up, our good mornings, as Danny said, you'll hear me talking about my mom's cooking. Because as you can see, I love to eat. Unfortunately, although she passed on her skills to boys, I think she may have thought they needed it more than the girls. Because she did not pass it on to the girls at all. So all those great recipes, Radix and I, unfortunately, have not been able to pass on to our kids. Because anyone who knows Radix and I know that if we put a sandwich together, we do very well. That is about as good as it gets with our cooking skills. But our morning always would start off with a warm breakfast. It would be ready, waiting for us. And I do remember having one of my dogs, who I was the only one at home for many years with Mom and Dad. I felt like an only child. And one of our dogs, Mom would say, go get Charmaine. Breakfast. He would run around the house, get through the side door into my bedroom, jump in my bed, get me. But the first thing that would hit me besides the dog was Mom's breakfast cooking. She always had a whole meal for us. We were able to go home for a nice lunch. We were able to have a nice dinner. Not only that, she would always cater to having 4 kids and a husband who might have varied tastes. Because there was one who I remember very well, did not like vegetables, so if it was vegetarian night, that was me. If it was vegetarian night, no, she would make something for me. she would make something for each of us. So there was never just one meal. And that was the way of showing her love to all of us. Her way of being the one there who would always be there for us, who was always the one that we knew that anything was happening, we would be able to connect with Mom and know where she was. Of course, with all these meals, that meant that the kids had to somehow work off all of this food that we were eating. And that would be, from what I've heard, Danny and Judah swinging from Mommy's curtains out the window playing Tarzan, and me on the banister sliding down, only to land and jump off down my feet. And she would just be shouting, "Get out of there, you're going to break your leg." But then she would never ever raise her voice at us. She was always patient. She put up with all of our little shenanigans and always still had a little smile on her face, I think, when she saw what we were doing. Of course, Radix, who was the ladylike one, didn't do all those shenanigans, and Mom helped her all the time. One thing I remember too is Mom had a beautiful voice. Around the house, Mom was always singing. The radio was on and she would always be singing. As she sewed, she would be there at the machine and you hear the song on the radio, but Mom was doing a better job at it than anyone else. And that music was some of the things that followed many, many years with her. Now, as Danny mentioned, the kind of art didn't just only extend to us. I remember growing up on Gransall Street, we had an elderly couple, Mr. and Mrs. West. And Mom, and even when Mrs. Hussein, who was our next door neighbor, started, declining in age, Mom would prepare meals. She would take it over. She always was there to make them a cup of tea, they would take them some sweet cakes. And she, then in years to come, that kindness and gentleness also, as the kids grew older, went over to Cheshire Home, St. Vincent de Paul, she never drove, but she would get a taxi or someone to drive her, to take her to meetings, to be able to help at the homes and care for others. As Danny also said, she was a great seamstress. She got my sister and I in all the latest fashions. She would just look at the television, see something. She would look at a magazine. And the next thing you knew, she was cutting out a sewing pattern. And we would be in the latest outfits before they even came to Trinidad. I remember so well the culottes, the bell-bottom pants, the pairs. I see Auntie Sheila is nodding. I remember Auntie Sheila and Auntie Pauline at home after school and they're trying on things that Mom had made for them. And of course I remember very well my hot pants, because in those days that's what they called the little hot pants, and I was the one who had that. So, but as Danny also mentioned, sewing also gave us some financial independence. And having that at such a young age, having that, I think, was one of her greatest pleasures also, being able to contribute in many ways to the household. Now, for many years, Mom continued sewing, even when she visited us in Canada. She made Siobhan's baptism dress. Came for both Kyle and Siobhan's baptism, and she said, my gift is I will make the dress. And she made the dress. And she helped make pajamas for Saskia, but she was a baby as well. She was always making things and caring for grandchildren. Now, I think mom's networking skills too. It had another hidden purpose. It kept the children watching their P's and Q's. Because somehow she knew what was going on even before we got home. She would know, oh, so what was this in class? I don't know how she knew, but mom's network, she would know what was going on. And Daniel, she knew when he came home late what state he was in. She knew if any of us, one of my friends, Melissa in Vancouver, was telling me, she says, I remember we dropping you at home and the curtain just going and the face looking out to see, oh, who's dropping her? So I would say, it's me, Mrs. Shagana, just so that she would know it was a girl dropping me off, not a boy. Over the later years, Radix and I were fortunate, very fortunate to have mom and dad visit us in Canada. And as her children, Daddy mentioned, after the children, we were very slightly displaced when the grandchildren came along. What mom had once said to me is that having grandchildren is like free love. A grandparent could love and spoil their grandchildren without having to think too much about the discipline and the consequences of their own, as they do for their own children. Now, I found out later on what my mother meant about free love. Because it was confessed to me that when mom picked up Kyle and Siobhan from school when they were visiting, she would take them to the store to get a chocolate bar. And I guess that was the free love because she swore them to secrecy, that they couldn't come home and tell me that she was giving them candy and sweet stuff. But again, she would do whatever it took for those grandchildren. And then we all have lovely memories of her in Canada. Traveling with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old out to the East Coast. And Barrett speeding around the corners, saying, and exactly came up with this on 2 wheels, that he was driving on 2 wheels on the East Coast. But many trips we had Ottawa, Quebec City, Massachusetts to visit with family, and country. And having us experience the world and Canada through their eyes. Now, when mom was there, before every trip, before she left to come back to Trinidad, she would cook roti. She knew we liked it, so she would cook roti and leave stacks. I would pack them in 4s and 2s, 4 for my family, 2 for Radix, and 2 for friends also, Paul and Carol. They will get packages of 4s and 2s. Mom made enough that we had roti and we would go for months to come. And while she was there, she made sure all of our favorites she would cook, because, as I mentioned, she didn't pass on the cooking skills to the daughters. So she would make curry duck for Alec, she would make pilau for me, and she would stew shrimp because the kids also had liked that. As the years progressed, and arthritis and knee problems took its toll, Mom slowed down. Now before I forget, it's a part, the story of Sulu. My sister, as we say to each other. Growing up in San Fernando, I went to TML school as did my siblings. It was close to home and an easy walk for our parents. And Zenobia and her brother Mozart were at TML school. And they were invited to our home to wait until, because it was a little bit longer for her dad to pick them up. And Mom invited Zenobia into her home and Rosa, and for many years that was my extended brother and sister. Through all the years we were able to do that. And also, in return, as a thing, I was able to spend a lovely summer with them. Zenobia has been also the one who has been with her mom, my replacement as I was in Canada. Mom's diagnosis with cancer was a shock for her. But she always said, even up to Christmas when we were here, she said she did not want to suffer as she had seen other siblings suffer. It was a comfort, albeit a very small comfort, for us to know that Mom passed quickly, and that was what she wanted. And we will always have, and I think this is what she wanted, a happy memory of having Christmas with her and enjoying the time where she did everything, and everyone said you would not think that this mom would have any ills. When she's at peace now, and where she is, maybe she's telling boss, behave yourself. You know, oh boss, sit down. No, boss, watch your mouth. But wherever she is, she's in a happy place. We wish that she's in a peaceful place, but we know that she has found her peace. And let us all remember the loving, caring, devoted person that she was to us all.
Thank you very much. Just, when we this facility here, normally there's a time slot. So we have to preparations at 11 o'clock. So we have already reached 10:30, now it's gone. So we have to be mindful of that. So we have all the rituals and all that stuff to do. And then we also have to be creative for this creative. Yeah.
I'll be short. I am short. This is a few sentiments from Justin, who is our first son. Unfortunately, can't be here today. It is with great sadness and regret that I could not be there for the memorial of my grandmother. I will always remember her as someone who would not hesitate to shower her grandchildren with affection, and will always remind others her grandchildren were her life. Despite whatever worries or discomfort she may have had, I would only need to call her, and her face would instantly brighten from the opportunity to chat with her grandchild. It was heartwarming to know that no matter what troubles were happening in my life, there was always someone who loved me unconditionally and would welcome a conversation at any time. I think any of her grandchildren would readily agree. Some of my earliest and fondest memories of playing with Brian in the yard at the house at 81 Caroline Drive with Pat Mambo, David Bachak, and throw a paper plane off the banister by the kitchen, which seemed like the tallest place in the world at that time. All the while, Grandma doted upon us and cooked whatever we asked of her. she would often put words in my mouth and say I thought her stew chicken was the best, but she was not wrong in saying so. While I wish she was still with us, I would always have these memories to remember her by, and her voice will always ring through my head forever. I just want to say a few words. Mom made going back to it when I had Justin and Ryan easier. I don't know if any of our working mothers went through this, but I always had guilt not being there all the time for my children because I was working, but Mom made that easier. Mom also taught Justin how to cook.
See,
so
boys is the
he can make pilau and stew chicken and roast chicken from my mom. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I guess in the essence of time, I'll kind of power through this. Mine is a little longer distance. Today, we are here to remember the life of Samde Javna, or as I know her, Grandma. Grandma was a different person to different people. She was a devout Hindu. To some, she was a gentle friend. And to TSC, she was one of their #1 customers. She was always chatting away on the phone with her friends, whom she constantly spoke so highly of and loved dearly. Grandma was a loyal wife, a proud and caring mother, an avid fan of The Price is Right. And as most of you know, she was a warrior. But she was also a warrior, because I don't think she ever really let us know how bad her pain was in her later days. She didn't want us to worry about her, and she never wanted to appear weak in anyone's eyes. And to me, she never did. Grandma must also be one of the most hospitable people I've ever met. You've heard the stories from everyone else. And I've heard countless other stories about how on Street, the house had an open door policy for any friends of any of her 4 children. I suspect she was like a second mother to many. And I'm still unable to fathom how this tiny lady was capable of so much love. I've also seen her accept people into the family with ease. She always speaks so highly of her daughter-in-laws. She often calls Auntie Alison and Mommy her blessings from God. I've seen her immediately take a liking to Annie, Justin's wife, and Natalia, my girlfriend. And often when I chat with her, she'd be more concerned with their well-being than with mine or Justin's. She'd never hesitate to dote them with gifts for their birthdays as if they were any one of her own children. Now, I don't like to make generalizations, such as saying I'm the world's best grandmother. It's not like I can ever meet all the grandmothers in the world to compare. But Grandma was the best grandmother in the world for me. And let me tell you why. Grandma was hands down the best macaroni pie and caldo maker in the world. I think the entire Chinale family, Mommy's side, would agree. For years, she was always asked to make a big pot of caldo for annual Christmas lunch, and rarely were there ever any leftovers. I love Grandma's caldo, and therefore whenever the opportunity came up, she'd make some for me and send for me. I used to take containers of it frozen back to Canada when I was studying there, and it was the easiest thing to just thaw and throw on top of some boiled rice. The only real problem I had with that was rationing it, so it can last me the entire semester before I could restock again. Grandma was the best mango gatherer. She'd always pick mangoes from her tree and send for myself and Mommy whenever the tree was bearing. Even in her older days, she had this uncanny way of permitting people to do whatever she wanted. So whenever the yard man dropped by, whenever she had visitors, she convinced them to go in the backyard, pick mangoes because she knew how much me and Mommy would enjoy them. Grandma was the best babysitter in the world. She'd never hesitate to spoil her grandkids. Whenever Mommy and Daddy left me and Justin for a weekend, she'd often take us on a journey all the way to the parlor at the bottom of Farland Drive, just after the bridge. She'd take us to get candy, gum, or chocolate, or maybe all. When we got a bit older and outgrew that 200-meter journey, she'd take us on adventures to Gulf City. And while I don't remember exactly what we did in the mall, I always remember looking forward to those trips. And I have a slight feeling I ultimately ended up with getting a new toy to play with. Grandma was also the best at putting you to sleep. This was not due to her storytelling abilities or because she sang us lullabies, but before bed, Grandma's routine was to always make Justin his mind exactly as he wanted it, and to make me the creamiest dairy milk, and it was always the right temperature to immediately drink. Never too hot, never too cold. Combine a perfect warm drink before bed with some vanilla cookies that we dumped inside was one of the things I always look forward to at Grandma's house. I think this day Auntie Charmaine still carries several packs of vanilla cookies back with her to Canada whenever she visits. So it just goes to show how the routine has got passed down. Grandma was many things to many people, but to me she was simply the best grandmother that I could ask for. Thank you for being here to honor her memory, and this may be my naive thinking, but I'd like to believe that because of the life my grandmother lived, and the sudden but peaceful way she was taken from us, that she has gotten that much closer to a state of true enlightenment or moksha, or some sort of eternal bliss. This belief helps me to believe that Grandma is in a better place, and lets me focus only on the memories that we share.
So we would like now to, we'd like to acknowledge the fact that all of you are here to, to remember this great lady. So they are members of the Top Street Mandir, Krishna Mandir. Whenever you get your team together, please. And I see you have Lakshmi there, and Jarmond, and Mrs. Singh, and everybody. So you all come up quickly, and we form a little group here. You all can do your bhajans. I'll appoint Mr. Jarmond Maharaj to represent the temple, and bring a few sentiments on behalf of the Krishna Mandir. I think he might be the most suitable person to do that. And of course the other members, other confidants and friends that I will call others who have known boss and who have known the family. So please come forward as we have. So I'll do this simultaneous. So while you all do your bhajans, you all come this way. So, no, you have to come this way. Yeah. Even when you prefer stand right there, you have to stand right here. Yeah. Right, come this way. So, because the guy is doing a recording on it, it will be nice. Yeah. So, you can't get in by the team. Right. So, you occupy this area, you can set the mic up, Jarmond will say a few words. And what we'll do, because we have this time restraint, simultaneous, while this is going on with the little bhajans and so forth, we'll have the rituals going on at the same time. So these are members who have been pretty anti-stacked on diplomacy and sharp retorts and things like that, so they could sing them. So Jarmond will represent the group.
Sitaram, Namaste, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I was asked from that matter to say a few words on behalf of the beloved departed. Okay, well, a lot was said, so I will just maybe make a contribution from the temple. I did not talk to the members of the temple to find out what to say. But what I can say is that Mrs. Jagannath was a devout member of the temple. She was always there, sitting quietly, and also she contributed a lot to the temple. Okay, did a lot of work with the ladies group, and you see they are well represented here, and they are the ones who are going to sing the bhajans on behalf of her. But personally, I can say, every Sunday when I go to the temple, okay, and whenever she sees me, this is something I will miss. She always stands up and embraces me. If there's one embrace I always look forward every Sunday when I go to the temple, it's her embrace. I know other members of the temple will also express similar sentiments. So on behalf of the members of the Krishna Mandir, okay, we want to extend our deepest sympathy and condolences to Mr. Jagannath. I know she lived a wonderful life. Okay, it was already said by her children and her grandchildren how wonderful this woman was. And on behalf of the Mandir, we want to express our condolences to the family. we know that she is in a better place. So at this time, as Pandit does this ceremony, we are going to say a couple of letters. Okay, I'm sure that she will hear this better as we sing it. We start our Sunday service at the Mother every day. So, okay. Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyon ke dukh dur Hare, Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyon ke dukh dur Hare, Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jab char taraf andhiyara ho, aasha ka dur kinara ho. Jab char taraf andhiyara ho, aasha ka dur kinara ho. Aur koi na keval ho, aur koi na keval ho, fir tu hi mera paan karo. Jai 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 Krishna Hare, Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyon ke dukh dur Hare, Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Tu chahe to sab kuch kar de, vish ko bhi amar kar de. Tu chahe to sab kuch kar de, vish ko bhi amar kar de. Puran kar de sabki aasha, puran kar de sabki aasha. Jo bhi tera dhyan re, jo bhi tera dhyan re. Jai 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 Krishna Hare, Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyon ke dukh dur Hare, Jai 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 Krishna Hare, Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Krishna Hare. Okay, at this time we will run a very, very simple chant. Okay, you all can feel free to join in with us. It's Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
I would also want one of the ladies to say a few words, because it does do something different, you know that. So we'll ask one of the ladies to represent, you know, these ladies look very brave. Right now they're looking like they're cowards, but they're not cowards, they're brave. So we don't come forward. Sure.
Sitaram to everybody. Mrs. Jagannath was a mother for me. Mother away from home because I live in Trinidad, but I'm from India. My mom is over there in India. She accepted me as her daughter, periodically called me and make sure that I was okay, asked me how it is, and always sweetheart and darling. Those words seem like, blessings to me, even from where she is. And she has been such a big help to me, always being there. I will miss her sorely. Thanks a lot.
And while the ceremony, because after we're all completed here, while the ceremony people are viewing the body, they will sing. And because I knew that that is something that she would treasure. You know, she was part of the network with the ladies, you know, and they would have, they would really miss her, right? And I wanted to say that even when she called me on the phone, which was well spoken, as you know, she was, her oratorical skills were amazing, you know, I don't know. She had very good English and very sharp. She would say, why didn't you call me back, or I didn't see you on TV or something, you know, whatever, all kind of stuff like that, right? And so I would really miss her. My wife and some of the members of our temple used to take out ice cream for her birthday. They really loved her. You know, she had a very warm spirit. So I want us we remember this, great lady, great person, great human being. Treasure in your hearts, what she represented. I know that the temple members, because we did talk about this, funeral and when she died and, all that kind. She did worry a little bit, who's going to do all this ceremony for her, She did talk to me about that and I told her, what are you worried about, So many people are going to come forward to do this ceremony, you'll have lots of support, do not worry, And look, I don't know all the older members, but all the young members came out today. All the young friends came out of the temple. So we'll have the viewing now, right? We don't want to have the viewing at the back. So anyone wants to view the body, will come put a flower. You can greet the family, you want to extend the condolences to the family, that is fine. So we'll do that now, and people come forward and view the body. So after we go and have the cremation. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, come.
Sunday was a member of the Sri Sabha, the ladies of the Krishna Mandir. And this bhajan that we're going to sing now was our team bhajan. He Prabhu Ananda Data Jnana Humko Dijiye. He Prabhu Ananda Data Jnana Humko Dijiye. Sivra Sari Durgalopo Durham Se
ladies are singing so well. Would you all agree? Say yes. Yes, they sing so well, very well. So let's all
Jyoti Janagavaya Sadhu, Jyoti Janagavaya Sadhu, Jyoti Janagavaya, Jyoti Janagavaya Sadhu, Jyoti Janagavaya Sadhu, Jyoti Janagavaya, एक पिता की हमार सगर की डर की हमारी माता, एक पिता की हमार सगर की डर की हमारी माता, उत्तम कबीरा संगल साथी, उत्तम कबीरा Jyoti Janagavaya Sadhu, Jyoti Janagavaya, Jyoti Janagavaya Sadhu, Jyoti Janagavaya Sadhu, Jyoti Janagavaya.
Okay, sisters and brothers, please note that we are about to conclude the ceremony. And at the entrance there, the persons from the funeral home will take charge. They want you to clear that area. And even the aisle will have to be clear a little bit behind my left. So the left area here, where the wheelchair is, someone will have to assist to move the wheelchair. Someone can help her move the wheelchair. Alright, so ask the grandson and whoever is the grandsons, you're going to assist today. And the person from the Bangalore funeral home will assist. So we're about to move for the information.
So Kyle, Ryan, Siobhan, Shannon. Sheila.
Okay, let's take attention everyone for a few moments. Danny,
Thank you very much for coming.
Also, we'd like to thank Candice. Where's Candice? Candice was our support to one of the support members here and all the others. This is Candice. We'd like Candice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'd like to thank you on behalf of the family and you did a good job. And we wish